Latest in the massacre at the Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina overnight. A packed vigil, thousands of people, you can see them locking arms, hear them singing those songs and remembering the 9 people that were shot dead inside that church. All of this after a very dramatic and moving, powerful courtroom confrontation between the families of the victims and the young suspect, Dylan Roof. ABC's Steve Osunsami beginning our coverage in Charleston this morning. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, Paula. I have to tell you, I'm still struck by something we're seeing this morning, days after the killings here. People are still marching up with flowers in their hands and grief on their faces to pay their respects to the people who were killed here. And these are people of all ages and all colors. The police have set up a barricade to make more room for them in the street. Authorities are also telling us this morning that the 21-year-old they have in custody, who reportedly wanted to start a race war, is confessing to the murders here. At 21-year-old Dylan Roof's first court appearance, a judge decided to keep him locked up with $1 million bond.
You're charged with 9 counts of murder and 1 count of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime.
While off camera, the families of the 9 people he's accused of murdering at a Bible study were speaking out with surprising compassion for Roof. He could hear their every word, the daughter of Ethel Lance speaking to him directly.
I will never talk to her ever again. I will never be able to hold her again. But I forgive you.
The mother of Twanza Sanders shed tears as she spoke. Police say Roof meant to kill African Americans.
We welcome you Wednesday night in our Bible study with open arms. You have killed some of the most beautifulest people that I know. Every fiber in my body hurts, and I'll never be the same.
But the sister of Reverend DePayne Middleton says she's struggling.
For me, I'm a work in progress, and I acknowledge that I am very angry. But one thing DePayne has always joined in our family with is that she taught me that we are the family that love built. We have no room for hate, so we have to forgive. And I pray God on your soul.
Her cousin, also a reverend, tells us she's grieving badly.
She was my big cousin, she was my big sister, and everything she did, I wanted to do it too. We shall
a near-capacity crowd came to this college basketball arena for a vigil.
Beloved, if you will think about the 9 names.
Praying for the dead Friday night.
If that young man thought he was going to divide this community or divide this country with his racial hatred, we are here today and all across America resoundingly say he miserably failed.
The families here are still waiting for the medical examiner to finish his process and release them the bodies so that they can begin to plan funerals. Dan.
Steve, thank you. And what the mayor said about the failure to divide that community, very powerful. Steve Osunsami, thank you once again. Meanwhile, we are starting to get a fuller picture this morning of the suspected gunman, Dylan Roof. We all saw him in court with his bowl cut and baby face and dead eyes. Meanwhile, we're hearing contradictory things from his friends. Some say Roof was an outspoken and unabashed racist, but now a black friend is coming forward to say Roof was not a hater at all. ABC's Cecilia Vega is covering this angle of the story.
Police say Dylan Roof walked into that Charleston church with a premeditated plan to kill.
My mission is to bring justice for this community, and especially for the victims in this case.
This morning, search warrants shedding new light on one of the deadliest attacks on a house of worship in U.S. history. Investigators say before the massacre, Roof joined Bible study in the church basement, praying for an hour. Then he stood up, pulled out a handgun, and opened fire, shooting each of his victims multiple times, standing over one of them and uttering what police call a racially inflammatory statement. But on Friday, he barely said more than a syllable in court.
What is your age?
21.
You're 21 years old. Are you employed?
No, sir.
His friends are talking, revealing more details about the 21-year-old high school dropout. Caleb Brown says he and Roof have been friends since childhood, hanging out as recently as last year.
The stuff that he got in trouble for at school was always just like the little tiny behavioral tisk, don't do that kind of things, nothing violent.
In fact, he says the friend he knows is not a bigot at all.
Who I knew him as back then, it's mind-boggling. He's not one I would ever say before I knew that this happened would be racist towards anybody at all.
But Joseph Meeks tells a very different story. He spent time with Roof just a day before the alleged attack. He calls Roof a loner who advocated for segregation and spoke openly of his hatred of black people.
He said that he thought that the black in general as a race was bringing down the white race. He wanted to make something spark up the race war again.
Police say that among those who ultimately helped identify Roof in surveillance photos after Wednesday's shooting, his own father and uncle. That same uncle telling ABC News he would push the button himself if his nephew, who this morning is behind bars in a South Carolina jail, receives the death penalty. For Good Morning America, Cecilia Vega, ABC News, Charleston.